Star Wars 7x7 episode 2485. Today, a quick roundup of a couple of news items that by themselves would not have necessarily taken up a whole episode, but together it makes for one of our potpourri episodes. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, let's talk about the fact, or we'll kick this off with the fact, that apparently we still don't know everything about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Surprise, surprise. I mean, really, of course, it's being kept under wraps naturally, and even though somebody is driving around the set and posting illicit TikTok videos, well, yeah, that's obviously been ratcheted down for sure. But what I'm really referring to is the fact that we don't know all the casting situations just yet. Yes, they made that big announcement not too long ago and made that pretty little graphic that showed a dozen folks in the series, but that's not all. And we have at least, rumors, but it's in the Hollywood trades. It started with Deadline, and then Variety checked with their own sources and confirmed it, so seems like it's legit. Maya Erskine, who is one of the stars and I believe co-creators of Pen 15 on Hulu, is also slated to be a part of the Obi-Wan series, and according to the sources, will be in at least 3 of the episodes. As for who she's playing, well, no idea at all. But, if you've been holding out hope that maybe Jimmy Smits is going to show up in this thing, then, this might be an indicator only because of the fact that we thought that maybe we had a full announcement of all the major notable people who were going to show up in the series previously, and now hearing that, oh yeah, there can still be people announced and added, people who, aren't just, bit players in the background or anything like that. That seems to indicate that, yeah, maybe the door isn't closed for some other big announcements or even surprises. And just to add a little bit of context, because it came up as I was doing some of the background research for the Thrawn episodes I did earlier this week, there's a story in the Star Wars comics that takes place in 11 BBY, which seems to be 2 years in advance of the events that are supposed to happen in the Kenobi series, where Luke Skywalker, young Luke Skywalker, gets into trouble with some nefarious people working for Jabba the Hutt who are taxing, quote-unquote, water in the Tatooine deserts and going after the moisture farmers and whatnot, and Obi-Wan has to kind of get quietly involved, as quietly as one can in situations like this. And obviously we know from A New Hope that things eventually aren't so great between Uncle Owen and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, things could be heading downhill by the time that we see them together in the Kenobi series. So that's one bit of news that's out there, not officially confirmed by Lucasfilm, but again, when it's Hollywood trades doing this, yeah, usually the track record is pretty good. The other bit of news was actually released directly from ILM X Lab, and we've talked on the show about the fact that, they released Tales from the Galaxy's Edge last year, and they've been, pretty consistent in releasing either, new titles or expansions on existing titles, like doing all 3 parts of Vader Immortal. And so we've been saying here that we're due for something, and it finally showed up. So there's going to be a Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Part 2, and the big reveal about it, as far as big reveals go at this point, is that Doc Ondar, who is the Ithorian antiquities dealer, the black market antiquities dealer, who is at Galaxy's Edge, is going to be a big driver of the Part 2 storyline, which they describe as having sort of a Relic Hunter Indiana Jones kind of vibe situation. So it seems like getting to meet Doc Ondar, you're going to be asked to go on some sort of mission to find something, and it sounds like from the initial release that it's going to still be limited to the space of Batuu, but that is going to still build out the story of Black Spire Outpost and make the actual experience of going to the Disney Park version, Galaxy's Edge, a deeper and more a cross-fulfilling experience. But beyond that, they're not giving much in the way of details. They're not even saying when it's going to release, other than just saying it'll come out later this year, so in 2021. Yeah, so that probably means summertime, maybe. I mean, that is when the first part came out, so, seems like a reasonable guess. But yeah, at this point, it's all just speculation, other than knowing for sure that according to them, it's coming out in 2021 sometime. Oh, and one other bit of fun. So a person named Cody Rouse does the voice of the animatronic Doc Ondar at Galaxy's Edge, and has been tapped to do the voice for the VR version of Doc Ondar, as well as the translation droid that will probably be speaking in Galactic Basic, I assume. So that's a nice bit of carryover from the park experience, and makes it feel that much more consistent between the two. And so there you go. That's what I've got for you as far as news tidbits from the Star Wars galaxy that, again, by themselves don't necessarily take up a whole episode, but together, hey, we've got an episode here, and that's going to do it for this one. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.